Hi, I'm Gita Lovegood, and today we're going to be talking about spawns and how they work, how I think they work in Wizards Unite. So for this video, I'm going to be using a lot of my knowledge from previously playing Pokemon Go, and I will admit that when I was playing Pokemon Go, I did use something that was considered sort of a cheat, but I didn't use it very long. I was just using it when everybody else was using it, and using that helped teach me a lot on how Niantic makes spawn points work. So recently I've been seeing posts here and there on different social media with people posting, oh my gosh, I just hit this level and now I'm experiencing this in the game, or oh my gosh, now that I hit this level I'm getting so many more of this particular spawn. Unfortunately, in Niantic's games, that's not how spawns work. Spawn points are decided based on a particular cell activity. I know this because of Pokemon Go YouTubers explaining some of that. Niantic has used cell activity from, I believe, 2013. They might have updated it by now. I'm not completely sure, but I know that this is how they originally did it. They used cellular activity to pinpoint where a lot of people were, and thus that's where they would put a lot of spawn points. So that's why if you go to Walmart parking lot, for example, or going to the airport, that's why you're going to see a ton of spawns all in one concentrated area, because that's where a lot of people sit and use their cell phones. So when Pokemon Go first came out, there were these maps that everybody was making and sharing, and basically these maps told you where spawns were and exactly how much longer you had until they would disappear from the map forever. And they would also tell you what the exact spawn was, and for Pokemon Go they had other stats that were significant to that game that they would list. So you could run around and really hunt the rarest and most valuable Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Before Niantic really took action against these maps and literally everybody was using them, I did a little bit of my Ravenclaw self and I studied it, and I wrote down a map of my neighborhood at the time. And I wrote down little, so say this is my neighborhood. Say that's my neighborhood. I would draw a little dot right there and then put a little number 1. And then another little dot right there, and then put a little number 2. This is really, really sloppy, hard for you guys to read because it's such a thick marker, sorry. But giving you an example. And then over here I would write number 1 spawns at the 35 minute of the hour. And then I would do that for all of the spawn points all around my neighborhood. Because what I realized was spawn points were attached to a timer, and this timer reset on the hour every hour. So if something spawned in this exact spot at 12:08, it would spawn again at 1:08 and 2:08 and 3:08 and 4:08 and 5:08 and so on and so forth. So it became really, really helpful for figuring out when certain things would spawn. Then we also had certain biomes. So in Pokemon Go, Dratini is something that everybody really, really wanted. Well, we had 4 specific points in our neighborhood that could spawn water Pokemon, and thus we would have a chance for Dratini. So I figured out exactly what time these water spawn points triggered, and then I would go and open up my game and I could see if they had spawned. Because of how Pokemon Go works, I could see if I needed to walk over to that spawn point to try to find the Dratini. In Wizards Unite, I have noticed something very similar. It's harder to track because these spawns in Wizards Unite don't necessarily stay in the exact same spot every time, but I have noticed something very similar, and I wouldn't be surprised if it works the exact same way. So, say you go into a flagged area, say there's a dark arts area that you want to go and try to grind out the rest of your stickers for, the rest of your fragments for. If you go into this dark arts area, The game does recognize that you walked in to this dark arts area, but that does not cause the game to spawn things specifically for you. These spawn points are already mapped out, they're already decided on what time they're gonna spawn and where. So it's up to you to kind of like walk around and explore and find them. Another thing that you might notice is if you're playing with friends, every single person you're playing with will see the exact same spawns as you, no matter what your level is. So if somebody just started a brand new account and you're level 44, you guys will both still see the exact same things on your map because those spawns are tied to specific points at specific times, and the game has decided exactly what that spawn will be for every single person that is in that area at that time. So it doesn't matter what level you are, you're going to see the same exact things as everybody else around. So I'm not saying to necessarily go out and map out your entire area because I know it's going to vary for people and it could be overwhelming if you get a lot of spawns at your place at once. But if you happen to live somewhere where every now and then when you open up your game you see one little spawn, pay attention to what time of the hour it is, and then try to open up your game at that time again the next hour, and then the next hour. And then maybe you can pinpoint exactly what time your spawn pops up and you can take a little bit better advantage of what you get at home. Now, all of this is not concrete information. It is all based off of my previous knowledge from Pokemon Go and my current observations in Wizards Unite. There are definitely differences. Like in Wizards Unite, if you use the equivalent of a Trace Tonic, so our pink potion, if you use the equivalent of that in Pokemon Go, you only have 3 minutes to catch each fragment, or each Pokemon. But in Wizards Unite, I've noticed you can kind of like leave your game if you try to turn on a Trace Tonic, and as long as you come back within the allotted time, all of those spawns should still be on your screen. And then today, weirdly enough, I don't know if this is on purpose, but today I accidentally forgot about it and I came back with 30 seconds left on my tonic and like 5 brilliant spawns triggered from the tonic. So, and almost all of them were Serious Black. It was like impossible for me to get 5 Serious Blacks in 30 seconds. So I was like, okay, I just, gave up. At least they were just brilliant fragments and not red beam oddities, right? So I did my best, and then when the tonic ended, I went back to my screen. The rest of those traces were still there, with the little purple beam swirling around it. I wasn't like, I didn't expect it, so I didn't really have long enough to screen record. Let me know if you've experienced that, because that was bizarre. But yeah, I hope this helps clear things up on how spawns work. No matter what, you guys are going to see these same exact things, and the game doesn't necessarily spawn things for you just because you go into a certain area or just because you hit a certain level. Unfortunately, that's not how this game works. So yeah, I hope this helps you figure out how to grind a little bit better. If you go to flagged areas, try walking around and roaming around the whole entire flagged area, and you have to like physically find the groups of spawns in the flagged area, or however many there are. There might, just because it's flagged doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to have a ton of spawns or even the rare spawns. And the bigger the area doesn't necessarily mean that either. The other day, I frequently go to a dark arts parking lot to go shopping at Target. It's huge, and I don't ever come across red beams or orange beams or like anything in that parking lot. But when I go to like my tiny little bank parking lot, which is like itty bitty in comparison, I found Tom Riddle the other day. Now, is that an every time thing? No. Everything is random. Everything is RNG. It is frustrating sometimes, but it's also kind of fun because, like, I don't know, personally, if, say, like what happened to me, say Tom Riddle had spawned just for me at that parking lot, I would feel really guilty for my boyfriend to not be able to catch it just because he's not the same level as me. You know what I mean? Or not catch it, but save it. But you know what I mean? I love that everybody still has the same chances, because for me, I love equal opportunities. I love how the inns have been trying to like be rebalanced. I love how they've tried to make spawns more balanced between rural and city. Yeah. And also, just because you go into the city doesn't mean there's going to be tons of spawns popping up all the time. They're going to be set up the exact same way. So if you're catching everything in one spot, you may just need to like keep exploring further and further to find more spawns, and then go back to that original spot an hour later. Alright, let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below. I will be answering every comment immediately for the first 2 hours, and then I'll try to be responding to the rest of the comments as soon as I can get to them for the rest of the day or the rest of the week, or you know, whenever you reply. I don't know, you could be watching this in a month or two. I'll try to respond if you comment. It does get hard once it's that far away to keep up, but I will try. Oh yeah, also, I am trapped here pretty much. It's really hard for me to record outside while it's snowing this hard, so let me know in the comments down below, would you rather have me baking cauldron cakes in my next video, or would you like me to finally record my Harry Potter collection? Because it's extensive and that will be a like really long video. And if you want that video, do you want me to like just tell you what I've got, or do you want me to have stories behind each of them, or stories behind the important things, or just be like super creative and random and give me your ideas. Alright, that's all for now. Until next time, you guys know what to do. Make sure to use your magic wisely and keep an eye out for Dementors. Nox, you want to build a snowman? Oh gosh. No! Do you want to build a snowman?